he's on the spectrum, right? He says he has Asperger's, but it's all like on the autism spectrum. And he said that he has trouble with the way that he forms ideas. He has trouble communicating that to his thumbs to like text somebody, or to communicate that to even verbally to his mouth. He wants to just, how his raw thoughts, have that communicated to another person. I don't even want to say telepathically, via Bluetooth, right? Yeah. To have my Neuralink speak to your Neuralink without the need of it having to go down here or to your fine motor skills.
Thoughts.
And just share thoughts. Yeah. So it would be via Bluetooth, telecommunication, telepathic communication. But now imagine we all have these BCIs, these Neuralink chips with API connections to GPT-8 all at the same time, right? You're getting the intelligence of
We
GPT-8
wouldn't really have to sit here for more than like 2 seconds, right? We'd all just sit here and go, zing, okay, now we got it. Okay, let's go.
Well, Bluetooth is hackable, so I would use a different frequency, but okay.
It also literally causes disease.
Yeah.
Like, so if it's plugged into your brain, you're going to get brain cancer, like, relatively quickly.
Yeah, that's the scary
So, like, there's a whole thing about, like, the implications of us augmenting our human experience to the degree that I hope if we're doing that, we're not going to use the word human anymore, just so that we can differentiate between the actual human beings and the ones who are wanting to evolve back to the ancestral intelligence, which is my preferred discussion around AI, is the merging of the ancestral and the artificial into one intelligence, rather than, like, I think there needs to be a differentiation. Like, digital human for me feels like just kind of a strange thing, because it's not anymore.
It's not human.
It's not
obviously
human.
not human.
Like, so
right?
I think we have to be really intentional with the language in the distinction, because a lot of people talk about this split, right, between, for me, I'll call it the Homo Machinas and the Homo Terrestrialis, the ones who are going to turn to the machine and become augmented and more in this capacity, and I mean more than the phone already. Even though some people, I mean, you're seeing the postures of people with the desks and it's like,
and the necks.
But then there's also people who are evolving at this point and seeing that they want to connect deeper with the earth. So there is a split, and I think the species split is actually this. The ones who are going to augment and connect really deeply digital, potentially live completely holographic, maybe in multiple places at once. This is maybe already happening. You would know more about this.
But are they living? That's the whole question.
And then the ones who are going to go and like plant bananas and like live and still eat like normal food and like go and be with the ocean and like not have chips to check into their apartments and like all this sort of stuff. So I think for me, I just want to differentiate and find a way. My intention here with the future, and I put an S on the end of future because I don't think there's one, right? We live in a multiverse, not a universe. So when we talk about a future, there's more than one narrative. Right now there's a monopolized one, and I find all the conversations moving in one orientation. But a lot of the conversations I'm in with the elders and in these different countries, the future doesn't look the same way that it does in the monopolized narrative. So I just like to put an S on the end of futures, just so we can make sure that if we don't agree with the monopolized narrative, how do we actively help to co-create something that is beneficial for all of us and all of life and the earth, since we're going to need the earth to live, and we always have. And
well, there's this compelled pressure. How many of you feel pressure right now to learn AI, not because you want to, but because you feel like you have to stay relevant and job ready in this space, right? We all kind of feel that pressure right now. I fear the same might happen with Neuralink, where like, it's not for medicinal purposes, it's commercialized, and you have tech bros that are 100x more productive because they have these Neuralinks. So now you can't get hired if you don't have a Neuralink, because you're doing things the old-fashioned way.
You're just really slow, yeah.
Right,
yeah.
So some of us might be obligated to get this brain chip just to stay productive in the job force.
Relevant, yeah.
Relevant in the space. I would hate for that, but that, if they make this commercial.
Well, it's hardly, it's something which is on the horizon. Okay?
Yeah.
So with the introduction of the digital ID within the UK as becoming a law, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
I do think that's coming. I do think that would be a thing where it's a job application. Give us the chip number of your Neuralink. What type of Neuralink?
And for those of you who play, Cyberpunk, or if you've seen the show Alien Earth, where they kind of like, there's different races of like normal humans, cyborgs, synths. Like there's going to be a spectrum of human types of people who are augmented versus not, right? Who decide to live off the grid and kind of be go the opposite direction versus those that are like, if I have to live in this urban environment, I have to connect or augment somehow, some type of way.
Okay.
Which is pretty
I also
scary.
wonder how we can shift the word productive, for example. Like a lot of the language that we're using, for me, I just really focus on language. Like we're talking about physics, and in a lot of the scripts, it says first there was the word, and the word was the creation, right? My teacher would say, well, first there was a thought, then there was the word, then
Yeah.
So how do we actually make sure that the words that we're thinking are differentiated and nuanced enough to then potentially live into this nuanced archetypal evolution of the human, to the degree that we don't start conflating ideas and confusing things for what they actually aren't? And then that we can focus on doing what we actually want, and that we can also do it in an expansive way, not having to always fit into the pressurization, unless we want to, right? I mean, and essentially, to boil it down to what I'm saying in a word, choice.
Or options.
I have to check how much time we have. For
We have
this.
22 minutes.
We have 22 minutes.
Yeah.
22 minutes to kill the audience. Right, let's continue.
Okay. Or options, having options.
If I don't hear a lot of
Feels important.
clapping or
Yes.
cheering, I think that we've achieved our objective. Right?
Bada bing,
If I
bada
didn't
boom.
scare you, I didn't do
Wait.
my job. So
Yeah.
We can
more
replace
need-
them with avatars, not us.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, that's the thing, eh? We could all be avatars, and I'm just at home sleeping, maybe.
but let's get back to this important point of Ryan, right? So you're all here. You're at a conference for innovation, right? And why have you primarily come for as a learning experience, as an educational experience, or is it to apply the technology of innovation to the commercial world, which actually transpires into the language we then use to create different paradigm of how we live? If you can, do you want me to retranslate that into normal English, because it was very Englishy English? Are you here to make money, or are you here to learn? It's the bottom line, right? And that's what Ryan is saying. Like we have a language, and that language determines the way we think about the world around us, obviously. Yeah. But where do we want to go with it?
What's our
Ryan's
priority?
asking you guys, where do you want to go with it? Does anybody from the audience have an opinion? Do we have a microphone?
I believe I saw a question over here.
There's a hand almost up.
I want this panel to be the best panel of the week. I want a lot of engagement, please.
Yes.
Does anybody have?
Thoughts? Chris,
Just throw it.
Come on,
and
Nina.
whoever picks it up gets to speak.
Can you just go like this and activate the micro?
Yeah, there you go. Don't even say anything. Just tell me telepathically.
And me too, because we.
I think a lot of the topics that came up in our panel around human evolution.
Okay.
And
Sorry, I will just introduce Nina Bressler, because I just happen to know her personally.
thank you, Naveed. One of my favorite proggers right there on stage.
Yippee for Nina.
Yeah. And I actually wanted to bring it back to the digital twin topic.
Okay.
So there are definitely use cases where they could support families with grief, with overcoming trauma. But my question is, if you are making a digital twin of yourself for those purposes, aren't you already expressing love towards the person who would benefit from that digital twin? And isn't that a really human, not a really human, that is the ultimate human emotion, right, is love. And it requires consciousness and self-awareness to be able to recognize through love that somebody having a digital twin of you would be really beneficial to you. And my question is, really, what do you guys think about that? Isn't the basis of it then love?
I have a view on love, right, which I share. All of us, ultimately.
I'm not hippie, I want to say.
No. If you look inside yourself, all of you will finally find one answer, one question, which you want to answer. I want to love and be loved. And it doesn't matter what you take with you out of the world, but if you can't answer this, but that's my personal view. Do you guys
It's a
share
funny
a
thing about
different-
humans. I think that's so true, and I think it is the driving force in evolution in our societies, and building our cities, and building relationships, and building schools for our children. All of that is to show love and feel love, and it's a funny energy that we all have, and we also have it like with our pets. we have a cat, we show it love, and we want it to show us love back. And if
Right.
it's kind of arrogant and keeps walking away, then we feel, okay, my cat's not very cool with me. Something's wrong.
I want to just keep on point with Nina's question, though, because it was my fault. I sidetracked. I think, if I've understood her well, she's saying if you create some kind of digital device, right, and is that the ultimate form of love?
I think it depends on the individual.
Okay.
So think of this scenario, and it's not my job to convince you of this, but it is my job to like create positive outputs of this technology, where let's say someone in your life, a mother or father, passes before your wedding day, right? And you want them to be there, or you want to tell them about this opportunity, and the avatar says to you, "Wow, that's amazing! I'm so happy for you. Congratulations." You've created that moment with the avatar as a proxy for...
Okay, but then, so the devil's advocate is, but is that really your mother? Is that just a computer and it's not really integrating with your mother? Is that something I've made happen?
I mean, it's no different than you talking to a picture. It's like you're creating a memory and suspending the disbelief that it's not you physically talking to the person. You're still putting that love out there out loud, right?
Okay, good.
And the only difference is you're getting the response back.
Or talking in your head, but your parents gone and you're having a communication.
And it's not an
in your head,
NPC where it's just like, I only have 3 responses to generate back to you. It's an open-ended, non-deterministic response conversation. You can have unlimited conversations with these.
Okay, so...
Isn't that the human factor, right?
I'm sorry, Nina, you have to shout now. You've got no microphone.
Pretty loud.
Okay.
But isn't that the human factor? Is that love? When you come down to it, I think we're having the wrong conversation. You're talking about a digital avatar, but the human piece of it is the love that happened in that exchange between you and the avatar.
Yeah.
So I think if you create, even Neuralink can be used to love somebody more. I made an example in the evolution panel for a nonverbal autistic child. The family could benefit from being able to have a verbal connection through love. And I think it goes to your point, Ryan, actually, is that's the most human, those are the human parts of us, and it's a question of not perverting them.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to ask Ryan about that, and